Welcome back to the channel, guys. Kerrod here at the Joondalup Resort, and in this video I'm going to show you how to use this correctly, the 3-wood, how to hit it off the ground. If you're struggling with topping and fatting and mishitting, this is the video for you. I'm going to show you how this can be one of your best friends out on the golf course. Let's get into it. So what I've got here today is I've got a par 4, it's about 320 meters. And if I was to use driver in this instance, I would essentially run out of fairway. There's too much trouble left and right for me to confidently pull out the big dog and slot one down the fairway. So in this instance, I want to still progress the ball a reasonable distance up the fairway, but I don't want to use an iron. I want to make sure that I've got a nice short distance or a comfortable pitch into this hole to give myself a good chance to make a birdie. So I'm standing up here on the tee box and I'm thinking that I think this is a perfect shot to use my 3 metal that I've got here. I've got this set at 15.5 degrees. It's a Cobra F9 3-wood, and I'm really feeling like this is the perfect club for this shot. Now, hitting a 3-wood is sometimes one of the most challenging clubs for a lot of players, purely for the fact that it is the longest club that we actually use off the ground. With the driver, we have the benefit of it being teed up. Now, with woods in general, there's a bit of a misunderstanding of what needs to happen with a fairway wood when the ball's sitting on the ground. Now, there's a common misunderstanding that you still need to sweep this ball very much like a driver to get the most out of this club. However, most of the delivery is taken care of in the setup, so you actually consciously don't need to think about this club any differently as opposed to just hitting an iron off the fairway. Now, seeing as the ball's on the ground, we still do need a descending blow. We need this golf club moving on a downward angle as it strikes the ball so we can compress the ball between the club face and the turf and get a strong penetrating ball flight. A big mistake that I see a lot of players make is they have the intention of trying to hit up on the golf ball with a 3-wood, and therefore the bottom of the swing falls too far behind and they're more likely to hit the top of the golf ball, causing a lot of miscued shots. So if this is you, this is absolutely a video that's going to help. So we're not going to use driver. I've got my 3-wood. I'm happy with the distance. I've planned out where I want to position the ball. So let's get into some tips of how you can strike these clubs a little bit better. So general rule of thumb, whenever the ball's on the ground, what I like to see is ball position about 1 club head inside the lead foot. Now, with a 3-wood, due to the length of the club and the distance we're standing away, and also the speed in which we're trying to hit it, we do want to stand a little bit wider. Now, one of the benefits of standing a little bit wider is we add a little bit of tilt to our shoulders due to the fact that our stance has moved apart. For example, if I had a shorter club and my stance was narrower, I would tend to be a lot more on top of the ball. So without thinking, if I widen my stance and have the ball position 1 club head inside the lead foot, I naturally begin to get a little bit of tilt to my shoulders. From here, the address position, what I'm looking for, if I close my eyes, I'm just going to have a slight amount more weight on my lead foot. One of the big reasons being, I like to start with this weight on this lead foot. It gives me the feeling of being athletic throughout the motion, so I can shift my weight to my right foot, then back to my left foot, giving me the most amount of power, or for me, being able to get the most out of this club when I strike it. So we've got a wider stance, we've got the ball 1 club head inside the lead foot, and we've naturally got a little bit of tilt to our shoulders due to the fact of where we're positioning. Now from here, I don't want you to really think about trying to sweep the ball off the turf, because what's going to happen as a result is your body is going to start to tip back. The bottom of the swing would generally be too far behind, and then this can cause a lot of top shots as a result. So the way you need to think about this is just the same as if it was any other shot down on the ground. So let's have a couple of rehearsal swings. We're going to set up, we've got our wider stance, ball position 1 club head inside the lead foot. And what I'm looking for here is when I have my rehearsal swing, I want to create a brushing of the grass in line with the golf ball where it would be laying. Now, all things being equal, you're actually better off slightly taking a divot than not taking any grass whatsoever with a 3-wood, mainly for the fact that at least we can still get some downward strike on the golf ball. For a lot of players, they tend to top these clubs. So by getting a little bit more of a downward strike, you're going to mitigate the chance that that's going to happen. So we've got our setup, we've had a couple of practice swings, feeling like we're brushing the ground in line with the golf ball. I'm confident and happy that I'm going to be able to strike this exactly how I'm planning. I'm then going to set up, and then just with this setup here, I'm just going to focus on making a normal swing, just the same as I would an iron, and look to see to get the strike that I'm after. Now that one came off really nice, exactly the line that I was looking for, perfect distance. And if we look down on the ground, we can actually see I've taken a little bit of turf. And that would mean that I've had a slight descending angle of attack as I've struck the ball. I've compressed the ball between the club face and the turf, and it's shot off with considerable speed, and it's ended up exactly where I wanted. So some of the main faults that I see with players when they use a 3-wood is they try and play it too much like a driver. They position the ball too far forward in their stance. They slant their shoulders too much behind, and this just causes too much of an upward strike, really leading to a lot of poor shots. So if you're struggling with your 3-wood, especially off the ground, let's get a little bit wider stance, ball position one club head inside the lead foot, and then when you go to strike it, think about it as no different to any other club. Yes, at the beginning it might be a little bit challenging for those of you who are just starting up in the game or recreational golfers due to the fact it is the longest club, it is the lightest club, it is the fastest club that you use when the ball's on the ground. So inherently it is going to be a little bit more challenging, but with these tips, these should definitely help. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Please go down below, click subscribe, click that little bell so you get notified of all the upcoming videos just like this. But until next time, I'm Kerrod. Thanks for watching.